This is James Lupton for SecondsOut. Delighted to join with Boris Crighton out here in Poland. Boris, how are you, sir?
I'm good. It's fight day. I mean, that's what we're here for. So I'm excited to get in that ring and get to work.
This is it, fight day. Steed Woodall is your opponent. His record, 17 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. Not a bad record, but he's had 4 years of inactivity. He's fought out in America a lot. And looking through his record, he's not fought a very high caliber of opponents. Apart from Steve Woodall, who fought Golovkin a few years ago, I would say you're probably his next or on par with his best opponent. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, a fighter's record is not a determination of how good or how bad he is, but like you said, when you do look at a record, you have to take into consideration who has he fought. And with someone that's fought 19 fights, and you're like, I can find one decent person in a 19 fight record, you'll be like, what's been going on? You just padded up your record to be where you're at. So you're like, oh, 17 wins, 11 knockouts, but it's like, yeah, but you fought 17 bums and won against them. That's what's happening. I mean, or 16, rather. I mean, as soon as you did step up a level, you got stopped. So that is a question that has to be in his head. I mean, for me, it's not something that I'm gonna dwell on too much, but he stepped up to the plate just like I have, and I have to respect that. Do you know what I mean? So we're both here to fight for our careers, and I'm sure we'll go in there and give it fireworks.
As I mentioned, he did have 4 years out of the ring a few years back. He did come back about 2021, 22, so he's had a few fights back since he's made his ring return.
Yeah.
But do you think that played a part in tonight? Do you think the inactivity will potentially show?
Of course. I mean, with any athlete that's been inactive, and especially with sports like boxing, where it's not just about being fit. Like, being ring fit is a completely different beast. And when you haven't been in there and you've had he said the last couple of fights that he's had have both ended quite early. So that means that he's had maybe 6 rounds in the last years under his belt. Now he's got an 8 rounder coming up, and it's like, when you're in there, when it's time to fight, it's a different feeling from, even if you've done some sparring, it's a different feeling being in there. And especially when you're getting hit with a powerhouse like myself, it also feels a lot. For those 3 minutes starts to feel like 6 minutes. So we'll see how he can handle it. You know what I mean? We'll see what level he's at when we get in there. So likewise, he's a busy fighter, and of clips I've watched of him, I mean, he likes to throw punches and bunches. So it'll keep us both busy.
I've spoken to a few people who are working on the promotions and with the boxer, and they believe this fight is the sleeper on the card. They think this could be fireworks. They think this could steal the show. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. I think like we're those two people that, like I said, we've got everything to fight for, both of us. And he's been inactive, and he's ready to come back, and he's a young fighter that's ready to come back and reignite his career. I'm in a position where I've got a good momentum going, and I'm here to sort of take over and light this super middleweight division on fire. So absolutely, there's no reason why we have anything to hold back. So when we get in there, it's all guns blazing.
You mentioned the super middleweight. Originally, reports said this was going to be light heavyweight. There was a few issues when Woodall got off the scales yesterday. Can you just elaborate on that? What happened there?
He filled weight. That's what happened. He filled weight, and the other side, basically, clearly he's being backed by boxer at the moment, and they've basically just almost shrugged it off, which I was just a bit disappointed. You know what I mean? And these kind of things, and like, those are the kind of things in the sport where you look at it and you're just a bit like, that's not right. Do you know what I mean? And we kind of just had to swallow the pill, but I had to make a point to him and let him know it's unprofessional to just show up at that. And like, since the Lyndon fight, everyone's trying to brand me like I'm a light heavy. I'm a light heavy. I had one fight at light heavy, but my 5 fights before that was at super middle. My fight before that, I fought a 10 rounder was at super middle. Then my next fight, it's a light heavy, and all of a sudden I'm a light heavy. And even so, he's there standing telling me, oh, I'm not a light heavy, I'm a super middleweight. Yeah, but you still filled weight. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm a light heavy, I made the weight. And you saying you're a super middle and you failed the weight, then what are you? Because if you're meant to be super middle, then be on the weight. Don't come in heavier and you're telling me how you're the lighter fighter. But clearly not, because you failed the weight. So it's a bit annoying that way. And don't get me wrong, I wanted him to take the weight off. But his team shrugged it off, and we're here to fight, so fuck it.
You mentioned the Lyndon Arthur fight. You seem to have been in the ring almost every week, it feels like, since Lyndon Arthur fight. This is your 3rd fight since then, in about 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. Just first of all, talk about your mindset of getting in the ring that often, because let's get it right, you're not an away fighter, you're not a journeyman, you come to one every time. You are, in your eyes, the home fighter. But we don't see that with home fighters, we don't see them fight so regular. Why are you fighting regularly at this moment in time?
It's so much in that has to be taken. We all came off the back of lockdown, and we know how that was, how grueling that was, and how every fight was sat there itching, waiting for an opportunity to go. And so when the opportunity comes and I'm fit and I'm ready, there shouldn't be any hesitation about it. It's all go, it's all guns blazing. Like I said, I was in a position to change my life, and it's like, why would I hesitate when someone puts on your hands the position to change your life? You take it, you grab it with both hands, and you go straight off that bat without hesitation. I was prepared, I'm ready. So it's not like I got called and I've been sat at home drinking pints and doing nothing. I was in the gym working. So when the time came and I got the phone call and they're like, this is your chance. Yes, phone down, let's go.
They always say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Is that your mindset for your pro career?
It's absolutely been, and that's proven itself to be the case right now, because I didn't have to get ready for this. I was already there, like you said, and it's taking the fights and staying sharp, and that's what you see the difference is. Someone that is active, someone that is a fighter, someone that has been working towards it, and not just sat on the back burner, you know. And I don't know where this guy's been for 4 years, but as soon as he popped up and says, "Hey, I want to lace my gloves back on," he was on a boxer show. But I've had to be consecutive fights, like you said, back-to-back weeks to be an opportunity like this. So I've got a lot to prove when I get out there, because I've been overlooked many times, and this is the time to really show that I am what I say I am.
You mentioned they're staying ready. 36 hours notice you took to fight Lyndon Arthur, who is, you know, at the top of the domestic game at least, and, you know, pushing on for European and world level honours. You was ready to go then. You did lose that fight, but your stock rose in defeat. Do you feel that? Do you feel your stock has risen in that defeat?
Absolutely. I was that guy before that. Just so I mean, I was that guy. I just didn't have the opportunity to show that. So when the opportunity came, I showed the crowd, the boxing scene, that I am that guy. So when the opportunity comes, you take it. You step in there and you perform. As in like, oh, if you that build your confidence in your performance. It's like, I knew I could perform like that. That's why I took the fight. I didn't take the fight just because. Just so I knew I could perform like that, so I stepped up and I did it. The next fight that was already scheduled before the Lyndon fight was there. I was like, I've already trained for this. I'm on my way training for this. Why would I step away from that? Took the fight, and obviously this phone call came in between that. I was like, well, one roll. Let's go show them that we are that team, and I am that guy.
And the last question I want to ask you, bro. So we mentioned your mindset. We mentioned that you're always staying ready, and we can see that you're motivated, you're hungry. You want to succeed. For yourself, you suffered bullying and racism when you first moved to Aberdeen. Mm-hmm. How did that shape you into the man you are today?
It allowed me to get in the sport that I am now. So that's been that. And the things that, like, that's one thing that boxing obviously does teach you, is like when that kind of stuff happens, you get into the sport of boxing, it changes your world massively. And then, like I said, it shows discipline, and it allowed me not to rise to those things all the time where if I was getting bullied, I ended up fighting or in those situations with the police and stuff like that. And I'm sorry, soon enough, after the first year of me boxing, all that came to a stop. All the fighting came to a stop. People wanting to fight me, so it came to a stop as well, evidently. So it shaped me a lot in terms of being the man that I am, in the sense of being a fighter, and in the sense of understanding that there's times to fight and there's times to take a step back, and there's moments like this where it's like, this is what I've been training for, this is what I'm here to do. But when someone starts calling me names or saying something outside, it's like, and what? Changes nothing. Like, your words mean nothing to me. It's not gonna get me paid. It's not gonna, why would I let that ruin my sleep at night? Do you know what I mean? Like, for me now, it's like, this kind of stuff is trivial. It's so trivial. There's so many other things happening in my life than me worried about some random stranger calling me a name down the road, or saying that they don't think I'm a good boxer, or saying whatever else. Your opinion is your opinion. I couldn't care less. Do you know what I mean? I was to go home and sleep just fine. But if I let myself rise to it, then I'm letting your little split-second comment dictate how I feel that day. Then I'm just, my face is all twisted up the whole day. Do you know what I mean? So for me, like, that's what's allowed me to do. Is like, for me, I've used boxing to challenge that. Like, I don't care. Like, it means nothing to me. You're just trying to get a rise out of me, and I've been through it. I've been there, done that with the whole bullying thing, and I've come past it. I'm not going back.
With that mentality and with what you've heard and what you've been called before, do you think that will help you in your career down the line as well when it comes to trash talking? Nothing will faze you in that sense.
Talk, like I said, talk is talk. We can all trash talk. Don't get me wrong. I'm here for it. I'm here for, if you want to trash talk, we can trash talk. I'm here for it. That's what I'm saying. When we came up to the scales, and I was like, Steed, like, you failed weight. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't trash talk is trash talk, as long as it stays trash talk. Do you know what I mean? That's fine. When stuff gets a little bit personal, then it's a different conversation. Do you know what I mean? Like, but trash was part of the sport. I love it. I love that part of the sport. Like you said, boxing breeds that. Boxing breeds it. And that's what the sport's about. It's a business. It's entertainment. And it's not just being entertainment inside the ring. People want to see that entertainment outside the ring. They want to see that entertainment leading up to the fight. Do you know what I mean? They want to be excited by that. Like right now, the clip of the weigh-in, my clip of the weigh-in is the longest clip that Sky has on their story, or has. Do you know what I mean? Just because there was that interaction back and forth, while everyone just stood there for 10 seconds, turned around. But because we had that interaction, I made that clip is our longest clip. So it's part of the sport. It's part of what we do. That doesn't faze me when I'm within my sport, within my environment, because I'm with the person that understands that I'm in there to win. I'm in there to be that guy the same way he is. For me, when I step in there, is you're trying to take from my plate, right? This is my food. You're trying to take from my plate. There's always going to be animosity within that. It's not as personal, but you're just going to come over here and take it and walk away like it's nobody's business. No. I'm saying something back, and I'm doing something back. So when we get in there, we can talk all we want. When we get in there, it's fireworks. And the sport boxing is like, after that, we're like, you know what? You tried your best. You didn't take it. That's what's up. But we keep moving in respect to the fact that we both went in there knowing that we had a lot to lose. We had a lot to give up and give it our best. And that's why, and I can always respect that, regardless of whatever happens before.
Boris Crighton, thank you for your time. Thanks for speaking to Seconds Out. It's fight night. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.